Hi there, YouTubers. This is Grimsgiver coming at you with a first video. I haven't made any YouTube videos before this. This is my first attempt, so bear with me on the quality, and I hope you enjoy. I want to talk to you about my the first gaming PC build I've ever done. I've messed with computers in the past, just tinkering around, taking other computers apart and putting parts from another computer into that computer, and a little bit of upgrading here or there, but this is my first overall build that I've ever done, and I'm pretty happy with it. So let's kind of go over my parts list. First off, as you can see, I went with the Asus Z170i Pro Gaming motherboard. That's a pretty good motherboard for the most part. It does have Supreme FX audio in it. It's the LG 1151 compatible, so I do have a Intel i5-6600K processor in there. I haven't really done too much overclocking with it. I've overclocked it a little bit just to see what it would do. Pretty pleased with it. I also have the PNY SSD 240 gigabytes. That's this one here. It's pretty nice. I actually got this one for a steal at Micro Center. I think I paid somewhere around like $65 for it or something. They had like discontinued, or they weren't making it anymore. And it's actually been pretty awesome. Pretty good processor. Or I mean SSD. Sorry about that. I also went with the HyperX DDR4 RAM. This is the 2400 megahertz. Just did an 8 gigabyte for now. Probably go with another 8 gigabyte later on if I see that I need it. But this computer is basically just like a gaming setup, so don't plan on doing any multitasking or anything like that. Over here with my power supply, I went with the Silverstone SFX series, the SX500-LG. This is a really nice power supply. Fully modular. It's pretty silent, keeps real cool. It's just all around just been a real good power supply, I believe. For my cooler, for the CPU, I went with the Cooler Master Gemini M4. At first I went with a Raven case, but it was kind of cumbersome trying to carry it around. There wasn't really a good way to carry it around. I tried to put it in my bag and a few other things. It just really didn't want to work out. So I didn't go with it. Took it back, and that's when I went and got the Corsair 380T. It's a pretty good case. I'm gonna go over it with you a little bit here in a second. For my main drive for all my storage needs, I went with the 750 gigabyte, 72 RPM, 2.5 hard drive from Western Digital. It's just kind of like menial. I needed something to throw in there. I got a pretty good deal on it, so I was like, why not? So moving on from that, we'll move on to the case. And as you can see here, I got the black version of the Corsair 380T. It up top has a 3-speed fan control, two HDMI, two USB 3.0s, push start, stop, power, and it's got a reset button. If we come around to the front case just pops open. I purchased two separate 120 millimeter Corsair red LED fans. They're pretty quiet. They keep everything real cool. As you can see with the front cover, everything has like a little bit of mesh in it to keep dust from getting in there, and it works fairly well as far as keeping dust molecules and everything out of there. I'm going to leave this off so I can kind of go through this. If you go over to the left side, got the pop open handle. Door drops off and just pulls out. Like I say, you can see that mesh in there. Pretty good. I really like the way they've got this set up. I moved the 140 millimeter red LED from the front, because that's where it's originally installed, and I moved it to the side where it just blows directly onto the motherboard. Inside you can see the Gemini M4 Cooler. Like I said, I went with the low profile at first because of the situation with the Raven case, and it cools so well. I've never had any excessive CPU temps out of this thing. I mean, it does pretty good. Spin around to the back. You can see the rear I/O. You got pretty much, you got all your regular USB plug-ins, your display port, HDMI. You got your 4 3.0 USBs, 3.1 USBs, Ethernet. You got your Wi-Fi antenna. And like I said, it does have stuff for all different kinds of audio connections and microphones. You can see the back of the graphics card. This is pretty cool. This Wi-Fi antenna is magnetic, so it actually really works out real good right there. We spin around. And there we have the beast. The GeForce GTX 1070 Asus Strix edition. As you can see from the case, I mean, this thing is awesome. I have had 0 issues out of this card. It runs a stable 60 degrees, mostly at all times. I haven't had any temps go over 65, and it just looks awesome. The shell's awesome. The lights are really nice on it, and the lighting effects inside the software, it's just really nice. And like I said, it's just the single 8-pin. And down here you can see where I've got my SSD mounted, along with my 2.5-inch hard drive back there. There was a cage in here in the bottom for the 3.5 drive bays, but I took those out to make more room, to give more airflow. And I put this Soul Republic deck inside, and that way it's got a speaker built into the case, so I don't, just other stuff I don't have to lug around. You can see my cable management from where I brought everything in, brought everything around, drilled this hole, and inserted that grommet, and that's how I have all my cable management done as far as the audio cord and the power. So let me fire this thing up so you can see what it looks like. Bear with me for a moment. And go. Pretty nice. Looks really good in the dark or in low light situations. Now, one good thing, quick note: if you go with a 1060, which I did go with a 1060 at first, trying to save money, that rear Republic of Gamers emblem back there does not light up. So that's pretty cool. For an extra $100, you get a 1070 that is, in my opinion, a heck of a lot better than the 1060. 1060 is still a good card, but I think this one's just real nice. So you can see the red LEDs. They do a whole bunch of different little strobing effects and whatnot. You can see the Supreme Effects audio down there. A little red LED lighting up. But that's my first build, and I've been pretty happy with it. Quick thing about the case is pretty bulky and heavy. If you're carrying this thing around, it might be a little difficult. But so far so good. Alright, well, this is Grimsgiver checking out, and I guess I'll hear from you in the comments. If you like it, and subscribe. There'll be more on the way.